Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome to the back office. Mystery package here. It says key shell, so I'm wondering if I ordered a replacement key shell. I have been known to do it. Last time I ordered was this one, which didn't quite fit what I intended. I don't think I did a video on it actually. I think I started to do a video, but then it just turned into a pain because it didn't quite fit, so I had to modify it. So these key shells sometimes don't fit when you order them, but more often than not, to be fair, you can actually use the parts to repair an old key shell. So this is a key, and this is a key shell, and it comes, look, interestingly enough, with a Chrysler badge rather than a Jeep badge. And that's because, of course, when they sell these, they often aren't allowed to actually use the branding, so they'll give you a little cheeky badge, you know, as part of the pack. But I probably won't be using that. Remodeling series, design your style. Stylish refit deco. It feels quite heavy though. It's a really heavy box. I don't know. Ooh, oh, that is interesting. Looky here. Looky here. It's actually a retrofit to convert the key into one of these flip keys. That's really cool. Obviously I have to go get the blade cut, which is going to be one of the big issues. Hopefully they'll be able to do that locally. I'm just sort of eyeing up these blades. Yeah, it looks like it should do. Pretty confident there's no way of getting this blade into that one. And the reason I actually do want to swap these blades anyways, there's a little crack there in the key because I sort of give it a bit of a over cranked it. But let's see if it fits. So if it fits in here, I'm more likely to go get that key blade cut. And I can see this whole screw thing on the back cover is actually where you're supposed to put the sticker. So whether or not I'll lift this Jeep one or just stick a Chrysler one on it, I don't know. Interesting enough, does that mean that you can open this? Look, there's a screw there. You can actually open this without the bit under the sticker, because the bit under the sticker might just be for the actual blade of the unit, and you're never going to change that. Ah, okay, that comes off. That comes off. There's a bit of foam in there, bit of foam. Interestingly, I'm thinking, remember I was telling you about you could sort of use different parts to repair other parts. One, I've got the key without the panic button, and I bought the one without the panic button, but interestingly they just use the same membrane and hide the panicky bit. Strange they don't cut that out. But two, you could actually just use this membrane to repair your existing key, and I think, you know, sometimes these bits fall out, so you could just swap that bit if you want it as a nice new looking key. That's fine. Let's continue. Let's dig deep. Ugh, that's a tight screw. That's out now. Ah! He said, without paying attention to how that thing actually works. Sheet. I'm going to say sheet. Interestingly enough though, if you look there, you see that space? There's a space right there. That's for the transponder if your key has one. I've not seen on a lot of American keys, and remember, companies like this are owned by Fiat, so there's a lot shared with their European counterparts. I've not seen that, and yeah, you can see there's no transponder in there because it's part of the PCB on that. Let's have a quick look at the see the membrane here, which is sort of falling apart. Yeah, that does look pretty dead. But let's see if we wanted to sort of pretend to fit it. And I can see there, like, again, you've got that hole for the panic. Well, not the hole, the hole's been filled in, but you could technically put it in. And there you go. You could just replace that and have your nice key replaced. I mean, this whole thing would cost, I don't know, about $5 or $10, so it's pretty much still cheap enough just to fix your key with it. Just use it as parts. So that's the old piece again. I flipped it over just to check. No chip in there. And I think that's actually part of the transponder right there. It's got an old school technology. That's the transponder coil. And I believe this is the actual transmitter coil for the blip blip, the blipper. Good. Does seem to fit. I'm just testing it for fit. I'm not going to worry about this key bit for now because it's a bit to be honest, it's going to take me a bit of time to figure out how to put that back together, and I don't need to do that right now. So I've just noticed there's a bit of plastic crud here. I'm going to just snip those. I don't think they're necessary, they're just sort of a leftover from the manufacturing process. Yeah, that's just, they're sort of slightly interfering. Clean them out of the way. Good. Just pushing that in. So that doesn't want to quite stay in because it needs the other part of the key, but I'll just hold it in there. Yeah. I could just hear my car. I'm really impressed on the range of that. I can hear my car on the front of the house beeping at me. So yeah, that seems to work. So yeah, it's probably worth getting this sorted. Now once I've got it sorted, I'm going to sort of just have a little pretend in my mind now. I want to sort of try to reassemble this bloody thing. So that clearly will go in there. And there's a spring there. Not sure what the natural state of the spring wants to be in. If it wants to be so pulling it, I'm trying to think, when you push the button it actually flips out, doesn't it? So that means I think you want to start with the blade out, and then we're going to prime the spring the outward position. It's going to be something like that. It's like one of those metal puzzles that you get in the Christmas cracker. Really kind of tricky, kind of annoying. Let's put that in. What's that going to do? Not much. Pretty much knackered there. Why didn't I pay attention? Maybe that goes in the back like that. Let's try it that way. Try it in the back. Yeah, I think that does go in the back. Does it all scrunch in? Yeah. Bugger. I need a key expert here. It's definitely got... hang on. One more to go. Just looking at the shape of these pins. There, I think that's it. So we want it to flip out. So I'm going to put it there. Now it's really hard for you to see at home, but I'm just going to leave the blade out. Hey, look at that. That was complicated enough, I think, for most people. Certainly for me. Let's pop the screws back in. So we have a long screw and a short screw. I didn't pay attention which one came out of where, so I'm going to be a bit ginger. Put the long screw in here. I kind of think it's going to be the top one because there's going to be more torque on that when you're pushing that button. Looks easy enough to actually increase the spring pressure on that if you need to in the future. Put my PCB in. Pop the top of the key shell. Let me take the key, open the key. There's our bit of metal. Yeah, they all fit still. Then we've got this short screw. Whoa! My cat-like reflexes tried to grab that, but yep, still dropped the screw. Fortunately, found it again. I'm just having trouble here just trying to locate that. It looks like you've got to really squeeze that, like mega squeeze it. I think it's that panic button. I could cut that panic. Next time I sort of dismantle this, I'm going to just cut that panic button portion off. It's not adding anything, but it's adding a lot of pressure to the case. Now that you've actually got a circuit board in there, you see, you can see it sort of bending the case right there. Anywho, right, so there's your key. Flip. Yeah. Can I hear it? Yes. So that's working. So there you go. That's going to be your modified key. And if you do that and you want to keep your decal, I know it's a pretty knackered looking one off that, I would advise probably just poking through. You see there's some foil. You can just push it through from the back. Plop it over there. And that's your nice modern key. Whether or not that really takes up less room, doesn't really take up less room, and it's certainly a lot heavier, so you've got to decide whether that's something you want to do. But yeah, that works. Good. Going to go get that cut by the locksmith now. Just noticed as I was going to modify this to remove this panic function here so it doesn't sort of press the PCB. Interestingly enough, there is actually a panic button on the unit that doesn't actually do anything. You know, I'm pretty sure it's wired in, it's just not recognised via the vehicle. But what sort of is strange to me is that it still has that sort of PCB thing. So if you use the manufacturer's one, they've kind of not got a dimple on there, so it won't press on it. But if you use these, there is a chance that that panic membrane will stay crunched down on that button when it's in the new case, because obviously the new case also has that blanked. So yeah, I'm going to be very cautious actually and really remove that now, just to sort of make sure it doesn't get in the way. So if you're going to do that, I think just literally just take your Stanley knife and just chop it off like that. I think that's the best way of dealing with it, and it won't get in the way at all. Bye.